you know, why study business and marketing together? I mean, why not just study marketing modules?
We want to give the fundamentals of business and management from the start, and therefore in level 1 there are 6 core modules covering introduction to management inquiry, managing information with technology, organizational behavior and analysis, introduction to accounting, international business environment, and then there is a dedicated principles and practice of marketing, which is basically an introduction to marketing to all our BSc students, and it will be the first taste of marketing for the marketing pathway students.
Okay, so talking about that first taste then, can we move on to just address some of the students who might be listening? They've already studied marketing, you know, either as part of A-level or perhaps as part of a BTEC or other business diploma. And I just wondered if you could talk about how different is it going to be at degree level? How much more can they learn?
Oh, they will learn far, far more than that. The focus at higher education is basically to approach the marketing discipline at a higher level. We will expect the students to learn to research, to analyze, to have a critical approach to analysis, to look at the marketing topic from an academic, theoretical perspective, as well as from an applied perspective. So all our courses are a combination of theories and case studies, and those case studies are basically derived from marketing, business and management, and especially marketing practice.
Okay. Okay, so are you saying that they're going to benefit then from, you know, getting a perspective from all the other different modules? It's going to help them with the marketing?
Oh, definitely. All our modules, the program in general, is very well designed, and the selection of modules, management and marketing, is carefully calibrated to give the students a good foundation for their future marketing career and allow them to develop the necessary employable skills that they will need to use in their future marketing careers.
Can you talk a bit about those skills then that will be developed either through the lectures, the seminars, or through private study? What sort of things are going to, particular skills will come out from studying degree level marketing?
Right. First of all is the absorption of knowledge. It's basically how we learn, how we teach students so that students can learn in the appropriate way. In other words, to acquire deep knowledge, not just superficial knowledge. So how to acquire knowledge, how to read, how to analyze data, how to do research, and then what to do with all that information. It's maybe preparing for an assignment or preparing for an exam, and all these are very important skills which will be useful for future careers.
Okay, so talking a little bit more about the skills then, I wanted to ask, because I do get this question a lot from prospective students, and they ask about the maths level, because not everyone likes maths, and they left it behind at GCSE, and most of our students are going to have a C or above in GCSE. So I just wanted to ask really, how much maths will be in this pathway?
Yes, it's a question which pops up quite often, and marketing is viewed as an easy option when it comes to math. And I don't want to give the impression that marketing is an easy option. I want to emphasize that we require a different set of knowledge and skills from the students that would go on to study on the accounting pathway that requires a much higher level of math.
Right.
Having said that, math is important in marketing just for enabling to analyze certain data, certain statistical data. We have two modules within the course. One is marketing research and the other one is the final year project that will require statistical analysis, because we ask students to do primary research to gather their own information. Some students will go on, and quite a lot of them go on and do quantitative surveys, which involves statistically analyzing quantitative data. So they would be required to use a software called SPSS or SAS, or to use Excel to analyze this information. Therefore, to be comfortable with manipulating data is a basic requirement for marketing.
Okay. And it's worth mentioning here that we do have a lot of maths help here at Brunel. We have a centre affiliated to the library that will give you an opportunity to drop in and have maths help whenever you need it, and at scheduled times as well. And I believe also within the first module, Introduction to Management Inquiry, there's some ways in which the students are advised how to approach some of their studies, and there might be some help in there as well. Okay, so do let us know if you've got any questions by typing your question in the right-hand box, and we'll try and cover it in the call. It might be useful if you want to add your name and also where you're listening from today would be very useful. Okay, so going back to that earlier question, really, clearly we can dispel the myth that marketing is an easy option. I don't think there's really very much that's going to be easy in terms of learning how to study marketing at degree level. Really, it's going to be a stretch, and you'll come out of it all the wiser.
Yeah, the marketing discipline is quite vast. It covers all the way topics such as marketing communications, which can include advertising and public relations and direct marketing, as well as marketing research, which is more numerically based or methodologically based. We cover strategic marketing and international marketing. So there is a huge range of topics within the marketing discipline that we cover here, and we give not just the knowledge to students, but we give them also the tools, the mechanism by which they can become marketing professionals, well prepared for the future.
That's right. Okay, so moving along now, that's our Dr. Geraldine there on the left. I thought they might appreciate that slide. I just wanted to go on now to talk a bit about the creative side, because some of the students I've talked to here, they have said that they've chosen the marketing pathway because it allows them to be more creative rather than theoretical business models and so on. Could you talk a little bit about the creative side?
Yes, there is a certain element, creative element within marketing when it comes to advertising, for example. But I would say that the quality that we look for in our marketing students is more social sciences based. Being able to interact with people and understanding consumer behavior, I think, is the most important element of marketing. Customers come foremost for marketing. Marketing, after all, is the ability to satisfy customers' needs and wants. So yes, creativity is important, but so is dealing with people, understanding customers, and knowing how to provide them with the products, the brands, the services that they require.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I've joined Brunel Business School. I'm in my first week. I'm about to go to my first lecture in marketing. I mean, how do you start people off? Obviously, you're going to talk about the overview of what that module is going to contain. But what might be the first piece of work or reading that we might get as a student?
Right. First, in the first year, the first contact with marketing is through a module which is called Principles and Practice of Marketing.
Yes.
And I suppose the first thing that students would do is to acquire the textbook.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a very comprehensive textbook with the fundamentals of marketing. And the first few weeks will be spent in lectures covering marketing, for example, marketing principles, mm-hmm. and society, the marketing environment. It could be a lecture, there could be a lecture on marketing psychology and consumer buying behavior, something about marketing research and marketing information system. From there, students will progress towards market segmentation and positioning, mm-hmm. market development and international marketing, marketing implementation and control, and then move on to the more detailed of the marketing mix principles. Mm-hmm. So it is a general introduction into marketing principles and how they link to the practice of marketing and overall how marketing is implemented in industry and commerce.
Okay, and then from level 2, year 2, they'll have a whole year of marketing modules if they choose the marketing pathway. So can you just quickly go through some of those modules they'll be doing in year 2?
Yes, year 2, the specialization in marketing starts in earnest. Mm-hmm. And we will cover in more detail there's a module on marketing research, a module on marketing communications, which will cover advertising, PR, direct marketing, internet marketing, events, and other communication topics. There is a module on marketing channels and logistics, mm-hmm. and in the spring term, students will do a module on critical perspectives in management, consumer behavior, and a module on database and customer relationship marketing. Right. All interesting stuff.
Very. Okay, so now they move on to level 3. Now I'd just like to quickly talk about the final year project. Now this is something that worries people a bit when they first start their degree, or even, by the time they get to the 3rd year. They'll be asked to do a 8,000 word final project. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, this project is very important because it summarizes, it encapsulates everything that has been learned in the previous 2 or 3 years. 3 years meaning including the learning done during the work placement year. So this module, which is worth 40 credits, is twice as important as other modules, which are worth 20 credits each. It is a project which is done almost the whole of the final year, and will be students will work in small groups with a tutor, and will produce a report which is a research analysis, an analysis report, of 8,000 words, and starting from September of the third year and ending in March of the following year.
Okay. And they can actually, if some of the students listening are thinking about doing a work placement, some of the students, I believe, have centred their project around discoveries during the work placement year.
Yes. We encourage our students to base their project, the final year project, on the work placement, as they have learned an enormous amount during that year, and we want this knowledge and experience to be reflected in this final year project. We find that projects that are based on work placement are usually of excellent quality, and they are marked accordingly, and students who do such projects, it's not uncommon for students to be offered jobs back in their work placement companies based on the final year project that they do in year 3. So it's very important and very valuable for students, such a project.
I mean, I can see here, I know that we've had some successful placements. I mean, the list is endless, really. Just some of the companies that the students have gone on to: IBM, Microsoft, Walt Disney, Adidas, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Warner Brothers, Lloyds, TSB, Morgan Stanley, United Biscuits, British Airways, Air France, Orange, Nissan, the list goes on. But I just wanted to ask if you can recall any particular marketing placements that any of your students have gone on that they've talked about or written about.
I had a large number of students going on work placement in absolutely top companies. I had students who went to IBM or Microsoft. I had recently students who did a work placement in Microsoft, and then subsequently did an excellent project on their it was basically related to his work, marketing work, on Xbox, so very exciting. And other students who did work placement at GE Capital, also an excellent student, excellent results with an outstanding final year project. Our students go on work placement in excellent companies. Some are very large, multinationals. Some are medium-sized, what we call SMEs, small to medium-sized enterprises. Wherever our students go, they distinguish themselves through their hard work and being very keen to show that they can work hard and learn fast and be a credit to Brunel University.
Okay, I can just see some questions coming through. Unfortunately, we can't take the questions by audio. We do have to have them typed through. But I see there's a question here from, I think it's Sam, and he's asking, or she's asking, is the final year project 8,000 words or 10,000 words? Can you just clarify? I believe it's 8,000, isn't it? It's undergraduate.
Yes, officially it's 8,000 words, but we allow a 10% more, so it's 8,800 words.
Okay, so do try and type through those questions. We've just got a few minutes left, so we will wait for any final questions. But I just wanted to naturally move on from work placement to careers. Dr. Cohen, I wonder if you could talk about the scope of marketing roles that students can go on to. I mean, business degree, I mean, it's unlimited, the options, but if you could kind of highlight the particular things that they would be open to them. And of course, they do have, when they graduate, provided they've selected the right modules, they can graduate and progress onto professional study with the Chartered Institute of
Marketing. That's right. I would advise prospective students of marketing to pick up any business newspaper and look at jobs advertised, and one could see the vast range of marketing positions. And the marketing discipline is quite wide, and we have so many possibilities in terms of jobs, starting from marketing assistant all the way going to marketing director or chief executive in a marketing and advertising company. Mm-hmm. The range of jobs possibilities is very wide. I would also advise prospective students to go on the web on this Chartered Institute of Marketing website. And why? Because CIM represents the profession, the marketing profession. So there are a huge amount of information for students who are interested in having a marketing career. We encourage our graduates to continue their marketing study, and they can go on and acquire further qualifications with the CIM. And Sharon, maybe you could explain what exemptions mm-hmm. these graduates can have.
Yes.
By acquiring a marketing degree mm-hmm. From Brunel University, Brunel Business School.
Yes, I work in marketing. I have worked in marketing for several years, and when I was working outside of the higher education industry, people in marketing did study these examinations, and they really did say, okay, I want to go for my CIM. The starting level is certificate, then you go on to diploma. But the beauty about doing the business and management marketing pathway at Brunel is upon graduation, provided you've taken the marketing pathway, it expresses you through the certificate level, through the diploma level, straight up to the chartered postgraduate degree level. It's a master's level. And I have talked to somebody who's actually studied this degree, who in fact did a master's, an academic master's, and she said that this was just such an excellent program, and it was very difficult. The angle is more sort of practice driven, so your focus is more on practicing, the different techniques and things that are around at that time, rather than the academic study. However, it is worth mentioning that we have a program at Brunel Business School, Business Life, which is a practice-driven skills program. Now, this is the extracurricular set of sessions that you can attend that will help you in the kind of ready-for-work skills that employers like group work and presenting, all sorts of interesting things. So, I think we're coming to the end of our webinar now, so I do thank you for joining us. Just one final question to Dr. Cohen. Yes, I can see there is actually a question coming through from one of our listeners. Okay, so, sorry, all the reasons of typing them through, we have to read them. Okay, so, okay, we've got a question here. Someone's asking about the elaboration. We'd like some elaboration on what the course equips you with. He says that's very clear, or she says that's very clear. This question is coming through from Linus. For how much interaction is there with the business world? Joining the projects, possibly obtaining valuable knowledge against theoretical knowledge. Yeah, so I guess what he's asking is, what's the practical input? Do we have speakers from marketing coming in, or can they look forward to outside the academic study?
We bring in speakers through all three levels. We bring in speakers from industry and commerce, and not only through the Business Life program, but individual module leaders will have guest speakers through the modules. The contact with industry mostly is done through the work placement. It's also done through the final year project, when students are encouraged to go back to their work placement companies and work very closely with them in developing and completing the final year project. So it's not just being on the university campus and going to lectures and seminars and doing assignments and exams and cutting yourself off from the real world. On the contrary, we encourage students to apply what they learn at university and interact with business outside the university. We encourage students to read as widely as possible, to read business and management journals, to read business newspapers, to read Financial Times, to read national newspapers, trade magazines, and so on. So be in touch with the reality out there.
Yes, yes. And also, as we mentioned earlier, the Business Life Employability Skills Program does bring in, give students the opportunity of meeting people who work in marketing in other business areas. There are some people who come in and talk about their roles and the sector and so on. Also, associated with this, the Placement and Careers Centre do some sector days where, again, they will bring in people from various sectors to talk to the students. So there will be some practical interaction with the outside world. We do emphasise that. I've got a question here, a final question, I believe, from someone at SAMS who was asking, why would we suggest doing a master's or a CIM after the degree? Well, this is an option. That's the most thing to emphasise. But anything that can differentiate yourself and build your skills and build your qualifications will build your career. It's not saying that you have to do a postgraduate degree. It's not saying that you have to do the CIM. You may get into a company, a marketing company or an agency or whatever, and do very, very well without ever having a master's qualification in marketing or without ever having studied the marketing pathway. But many students these days increasingly are going on to do postgraduate study because it increases their knowledge base, it increases their promotional ability and the attractiveness to employers when you want to grow your career. So it really is an optional thing that will probably come about organically as you go forward in your career. We do realise that for most home students, obviously postgraduate study is very expensive. But the CIM postgraduate level diploma can be done part-time, even distance learning. Okay, so completely optional, but it is worth mentioning for those who it's just a seed to go in for the future, if you like. So I don't know if we've got time, Dr. Cohen, just to talk briefly about your route to success here at the business school. How did you start?
Route to marketing.
Yeah, route to marketing.
Route to marketing.
How did you start?
Well, my first degree is engineering. Applied physics,
wow. But
then I wanted to diversify into business and management, and I did an MBA at INSEAD in France, where I had my first contact with marketing, and I specialized in international marketing. So I worked for quite a number of years. In fact, I worked for 25 years in various positions in marketing before I joined higher education, and I joined Brunel University. So I have a very wide experience in industry, in marketing in various roles, and that's very useful for my teaching and very useful for me to to teach my students. If I may add something to what you said before, should the students go and do a postgraduate degree or go and do CIM qualification?
Yes.
What we do here is we encourage students for a lifelong learning. So carry on improving your knowledge and your experience and improving your qualifications. So become more and more experienced and valuable professionals in marketing. And which route you take to achieve this goal is up to you. You can do it via MSc, via a postgraduate degree. You can do it via a CIM qualification or a combination of the two. Or maybe you would like to continue and do a PhD in business and management with a specialism in marketing, and maybe go down the academic route. We have here very large doctoral program at the business school, and we have PhD graduates who go out not only into higher education, but go out in industry and commerce and go into very high positions, very well paid and very valuable.
I mean, just going back to that question again, as you just did there, the specific question was, would you suggest doing a master's or the CIM? And I think that probably will come about, that decision will come about as you go through your degree and you find what you like or when you graduate. Because, you know, you may graduate from business and management marketing, but then at some point you might start to be attracted to another industry. Therefore, it's a decision that you need to make as you go along, because if you were considering a master's, maybe perhaps doing masters in marketing, you might need to look at the pros and cons of continuing to do a master's in marketing, an academic subject in marketing. But you could then diversify your expertise by doing perhaps international business or, you know, global supply chain management and logistics. But it all depends what you start to find attractive. But I always say to students, it's quite handy. It depends what you want. If you want to stay in marketing, the professional CIM qualification would be a very, very good advantage for you, because it's demonstrating your professional commitment to marketing. And, you know, if you did, but then again, if you wanted to give yourself another string to your bow, you could diversify, as I said, and do a specialist degree in something else. So it's early days. You know, get through your undergraduate degree, choose the pathway that you like the most to earn it, and then sail on. So we just want to thank you for joining us today. I'd like to thank Dr. Cohen for her wonderful expertise and answers there, and we just wish you all the best. Do remember that you can contact me at any time with any questions that you might have about marketing. At the usual address, bachelorbbs@brunel.ac.uk. My telephone number is there. Do connect with us on social media. There will be replays of all our webinars on YouTube. A very good evening and thank you.